to General Jack Keane right now, what he makes of all of this. It's a gut reaction, General, but if you don't mind me asking you, the Russians are saying that this sinking of the ship had nothing to do with the Ukrainians. I can't imagine it not having anything to do with the Ukrainians. What do you think?
Yeah, well, I agree with your gut. I think it likely does. And listen, this sinking of their flagship, as you noted, the second ship that they have sunk, but not the first one was a logistics ship. This is really quite significant and humiliating for them, frankly. I mean, think about this. The Russian army has been humiliated by the Ukrainians. Here we are 50 days, and they haven't been able to accomplish their main objective, which is to topple the city of Kyiv and then also the government. The second thing is their Air Force has not been able to destroy the Ukrainian air defense systems, nor the Ukrainian Air Force. And now we have the Navy losing their flagship. Quite frustrating for the Russians, a huge morale impact on them, I believe, and also a huge morale boost for the Ukrainians here. And certainly the Russian reaction here and going after the capital city with more intensity than they've done recently is likely tied to this. And we're going to continue to see aerial bombardment, Neil.
Do you think as well that because of these embarrassments, one after the other, particularly the sinking of this ship, that it's only going to bring out more of the brutality in Vladimir Putin? And we're entering a stage that could be particularly gruesome.
Well, I think the brutality as part of the Russian military doctrine is already there, is well established. It's just going to continue. And we've seen the horrible evidence of all of that. Look at the lines of effort they're doing right now are threefold. One is aerial bombardment. The second one is to complete the siege of Mariupol, and I think that will likely happen in a week. But testimony to the Ukrainian defense and how determined they have been. I think it ends when the they run out of ammunition and also food and water supplies. And then the third effort is their main effort now, which is to secure the entire Donbass region. And they intend to launch a ground offensive to do that. And I believe Putin may have in mind May 9th, which is the day they celebrate the Russian defeat of Nazi Germany, a huge celebration in Russia. And Putin would like to have something positive to say, I think, about Ukraine and actually show it as facts on the ground as opposed to fiction, which he's likely to do if the facts don't support it. But that's what they want. They want to have seized the Donbass region and do that. But let me tell you, Neil, the force that's going to try to seize that is the same army that was humiliated by the Ukrainians up in the north. And they're going to have challenges. And certainly the recent announcement by the United States of the ammunition and weapons, the advanced weapons, and the more sophisticated weapons that will help the Ukrainians on offense as well as defense, will certainly go a long way to making a difference here. And it has to be sustained. This is not a one-time thing, and the other NATO nations have got to step up as well. But we're entering a very critical phase here over the next few weeks.
You know, you mentioned other NATO nations, General, and obviously Finland and Sweden are considering joining NATO. But it seems that Vladimir Putin really set his sights on Finland with this incredibly long border with Russia as a mistake if it even entertains it. What do you think he would do?
I think it's mostly going to be rhetoric about this. These are not former Soviet republics that are joining NATO, which is the thing that really has caused him significant frustration, only equaled by the collapse of the Soviet Union. And certainly the Baltic states are foundational to that, as well as Poland and Romania. But these countries have always been aligned with the West. They're part of the EU. They clearly have never had any relationship with Russia in their recent past. And obviously, Finland fought them tooth and nail during World War II. I think we're going to hear a lot of bluster about it and nothing consequential. It is the right move for Sweden and Finland to make, and certainly what Russia is doing in Ukraine has given them the momentum to get this done sooner rather than later.
Finally, General, I'd be curious how this all ends and what it takes to end it if there are talks. if Vladimir Putin is embarrassed, he's going to have something, right? He's going to have to lay claim to some of the lands that his soldiers are maybe occupying even now along the east and maybe some of these port cities. I'm just wondering what it would take, because by the same token, President Zelensky probably won't be too keen on ending up with an even smaller nation. I mean, that already happened with Crimea nearly a decade ago. So how does this end?
Yeah, this deals with the control of territory, and how much is really what it comes down to. And I think for Putin, if he can get the Donbass region where he controls it, he has the land bridge to Mariupol, he would likely go to a ceasefire and try to get an agreement. Particularly, he would have to make an assessment. What did it cost the Russian army to be able to take the Donbass region in its entirety? Do they have any reserve left to be able to go further west to Odessa? I doubt they would have the capability to do that, to be frank about it. But that would give him an opportunity for a ceasefire and some kind of negotiated agreement there. Whether Zelensky would agree to that is another matter. I do think at some point this ends stalemated, where Zelensky doesn't get what he wants, Russia doesn't get what he wants, and the thing sort of is frozen in place, similar to what happened in 2014. I don't believe that's a good outcome for Ukraine, because it leaves so many Russian troops on Ukraine soil capable of restarting an offensive again. So this is a very difficult situation that we're facing, and I think we're heading in that direction, Neil.
All right, we'll have to watch closely. General, thank you very, very much. General Jack Keane, have a blessed Easter, General. Appreciate all your guidance.